Hello, welcome to my YouTube channel. Please hit the like and subscribe button for future videos. Thank you.
In this episode of Africa Investigates, renowned Ghanaian journalist Aremeyaw goes undercover to expose a multi-million-dollar scam. After investors seeking his country's most famous export discover to their cost that not everything which glitters is gold.
They want to bribe you and money for you to accept. For the police people, they should get them released. For any amount of money, I should talk.
This is a voice from the criminal underworld of Ghana. I have just finished an undercover investigation that has rattled the cages of these gangsters. My name is Aremeyaw. I am an undercover journalist here in Ghana, and with my team have spent years now infiltrating and fighting crime and corruption in my country. My anonymity is my secret weapon, and this time I am using it against a new enemy, gold scammers. These fraudsters have become a major threat to companies and individuals looking to invest in my country's most valuable commodity, gold. The scammers entice foreign investors with deals at well below normal rates, and with global gold prices now hitting record highs, the profits on offer seem too good to resist. But the cheap gold doesn't exist. The investors are taking for millions while the fraudsters get rich. This time, I am going to make the scammers pay as I go undercover to lift the lid on this illusory pot of gold.
I'm on my way to meet a businessman who has been scammed of over $1.5 million.
Todd from America was scammed last year when finalizing a deal for 56 kilos of gold at a local refinery called Aljazeera.
I was storing the gold at Aljazeera. They have vaults there. We tested it. It was good. Went to do the next shipment, and I find out that gold has been switched, and they put brass in there.
Todd's ordeal didn't end there. After going to the police, the people who stole his money now started threatening him.
Yes, they followed me in the car at night. They threatened to kill me. The biggest problem here is that a foreigner loses his money. They go to try to do something, and then they come in. It's like a mafia. They threaten them, they scare the people, and then they just pack up, they leave, and they leave their money behind. There's just millions and millions of dollars of people's money just being taken. People work their whole lives for the money, and it's just been just down the drain in one day.
Hearing Todd's story, it made me angry that not only were these scammers stealing from individuals like Todd, they were damaging the reputation and development opportunities of my country. I went to the police headquarters in Accra to find out just how bad this problem was becoming. I spoke first to the director of the Criminal Investigations Department.
The impact that these scams have on the people and the economy of Ghana cannot be underestimated. And since most of the victims are foreigners, the image that is being sent out there about Ghana is not a good one at all.
The director referred me to the head of the department in charge of gold scam cases, Dennis, and his chief of operations, Ralph.
Some years back, gold scam used not to be rampant as it is today. When I look at my unit alone, as of 2007, we had about 10 gold cases for the year. This 2011, we have gotten to 20 gold scam cases. So you can see the sharp increase.
So what kind of figures are we talking about here?
Some have lost about 200,000, some in millions of dollars.
Across the country, there have already been 38 cases reported this year. Dennis and Ralph took me to see some of the fake gold they had obtained through their fight against gold scammers.
So usually, how do the victims behave when you open up the safe to them and they realize that there is no gold and that they've been fooled?
Yes. For instance, in this case, the guy or the victim saw real gold. And when this box was brought to the police, we opened it in his presence, and lo and behold, we found pavement blocks and then sand. He was shocked because initially this is not what he saw. Actually, he nearly collapsed.
Having spoken to the police, it's clear this is a growing and serious issue. But I want to get a view from inside to find out what is really going on. One of my connections managed to put me in contact with a gold scammer. He has agreed to talk on the condition his identity is concealed.
So, how many people are involved in this scamming business?
We have many people, massive people, and in this business. Throughout the world, we have connection, they are insider in every way. You can buy anyone, anybody, official, police, immigration, custom, to get what you want.
He explained to me that gold scams were just the tip of the iceberg, part of a much wider network of fraudsters, all working together. These crimes are becoming endemic in the West African region, and Ghana is now a global hotspot for online scams.
Most of people are a good degree holder. No any employment for them. They need to find another way to survive in life.
High unemployment and poverty levels are clearly a major factor in the rise of these crimes, but these fraudsters are destroying people's lives. As an undercover journalist, my motto is to name, shame and jail. It's time to give these scammers a taste of my medicine. I've been tipped off about a bogus gold business, the Ebibrim Mining Company. An informant has told me that it is a front for a well-established group of scammers. But to prove it, I need to get inside their operation and run a sting. So I've enlisted an associate, Bilal, to act the part of a wealthy investor. I'll be posing as his friend, a professional footballer who has played soccer abroad. I contact the mining company on Bilal's behalf. I tell them he'll be arriving from the Middle East in a few days' time and that he's keen to buy some gold. Within hours, I get an enthusiastic response from the CEO, a man called Patrick Boache. The company even offers to collect my friend from the airport and take him to his hotel. The game is on.
Assalamu alaikum, Bilal. This is the plan. When you arrive, the scammers will be there to meet you. I would also be there. I'll be waiting for you in the lunch. Our cover story is that we are friends and that we met in Jordan, where I play football. They will provide a car that will pick us. Once we are at the hotel, then we can go upstairs quickly for a prep talk. So that will be the very first phase of the investigation before we now start moving to meet them to take us to show us the gold and the other things. All right, Bilal. Salam alaikum. Bilal arrives today at 12:30. Now, you, Desmond, you keep a safe distance away from me. Make sure your hidden cameras are able to pick us from this safe distance. Now, Salasi, you will be in a vehicle about 100 meters away from us. When we come out, you will follow us until we get to the hotel. We have booked a room on the 3rd floor. You keep an eye on us. If anything goes wrong, you have the number of the Inspector General of Police. We are on our way to meet Bilal and to meet the scammers for the first time. These times are usually uncertain times because you're dealing with criminals. You can't predict what they will do. The most important things that I take into consideration is to stay focused, be in character, and overall keep the smiles on.
On our way to the airport, Bilal called to say he had arrived early and had already been met by someone as he came off the plane. I was worried as I wanted to be with him when the scammers arrived. I hurried inside to find him. The man who had met Bilal in the yellow shirt informed us that the vehicle would soon be arriving to collect us and take us to the hotel. Outside, Desmond and Salasi were keeping a lookout.
I've seen Bilal and boss.
Good.
As we were waiting for the vehicle, I decided to go ahead to the hotel and make sure everything with the room was set up. About 10 minutes later, the scammers arrived to collect Bilal.
This one, can you see what's happening?
I can see Bilal interacting with someone. I'm just behind them.
Yeah, film them, everything completely, okay?
Okay, I'm doing that.
After they arrived at the hotel, I asked the scammers to sit downstairs while I took Bilal to his room.
Now, these are the issues for discussion. Now, we've got to ask them to give you evidence of having dealt in gold for a very long time. Now, come, look into this window. You realize that, so you can see the poolside. Say you prefer sunlight.
Okay.
Because you've had too much air conditioning, so that we can sit there for a short while, do the discussion. Is Desmond coming?
Yeah, he's coming up.
Very well, good.
Okay.
You see what the next time is? Okay, so we are good to go downstairs.
In the meeting, we realized the two men were junior representatives for the chief scammer. They had been sent to make the initial contact and to fill us out. They explained that their boss would call Bilal in the evening to arrange a meeting. All in all, I felt this was a very successful opening day for the investigation. Everything had gone to plan. The following day, I met Bilal to discuss the next phase of the investigation. The company boss had called Bilal as promised, asking to meet tonight for dinner.
What we're going to do is that we are going to honor the invitation for the dinner tonight. The key things are we want documentations. I mean, proper documentations on how they work. The second issue would be that we want to go and visit their mine and to see the gold they produced. So that's the plan.
Bilal himself was the victim of a scam. When I met him last year, he was stranded here after losing everything to a bogus property development deal. His company had been bankrupted, his savings taken. Having him here now, it really makes me think of the human cost of these scams, and it makes me more determined to catch them this time. But right now, we had a meeting to get ready for. Like Bilal, I wear a kafir, an Arab scarf, to reinforce our story about my days in the Middle East.
Yeah, it went well. We had the conversation with him. And you see, the key thing is to make him believe that we are what we are, and he has believed it. And like they usually do, they will consistently want to tell you to be wary and to be careful that you are not scammed. That's exactly what he was trying to say.
The next step was to check the authenticity of the documents provided to us by Patrick. Mr. Amponsa is the manager of monitoring and evaluation at the Minerals Commission, the government body responsible for regulating the mining sector.
Oh, I was even looking at, I even saw the name here. Yeah, Abibre Mining Company Limited. We actually received this documentation from outside, trying to check on the background of this company. Immediately, I could testify that it's a fraudulent company, because we don't have anything like Ghana Export Council in this country. It's Ghana Export Promotion Council.
It was concerning to think how many other investors were out there now communicating with these fraudulent companies.
I must say that I also blame the scam. You don't buy gold like tomatoes in the market. Something that is worth about $50,000, you say, oh, they've gotten some people who are selling it to them for $35,000. I tell you, you are in for a danger.
In the consumer-driven world of today, it is obvious that scammers won't be the only people to feel the temptation of easy money. Whether or not most scam victims are here while trying to make a fast buck, Mr. Mponse's words served as a timely reminder that investors need to be sensible and take necessary precautions. The next day, we were on our way to meet the scammers who were taking us to visit their gold mine. We managed to convince them to allow us to film the trip, claiming that Bilal's business partners back home wanted to see the footage before making any commitments. As usual, Salasi and my backup team would be close behind. Inside the vehicle, I had my camera rolling. We were told the mine was near a small town about 2 hours' drive from the city. When we arrived, the chief scammer, Patrick, was there with his people, along with what were claimed to be 2 chiefs of the local area. We later confirmed that both men were indeed fakes. The mine itself was still another hour's journey, mostly by foot. As we got closer, the evidence of illegal small-scale mining was everywhere to be seen. The explosive growth of illegal mining has become a major problem in my country and has contributed to the rise in fraudulent companies and gold scams. The environmental and economic costs of these mines have been devastating, but most of these workers have nowhere else to turn due to unemployment. Hundreds are thought to die each year in accidents. Back at the house, the scammers showed us what they claimed to be 50 kilos of gold dust, worth over $2 million. We told them we wanted bars, 75 kilos.
Okay, so it was quite a good day, especially after visiting the mine. They thought our mines were blown and that we were so happy and would definitely buy the gold. Another interesting portion of it was when one of them approached me and said that they would give me a cut after the sale of the gold to Bilal. I find that ridiculous. If it's anything, they should make money out of us. But because they want to insist that the deal comes through and they think that I have some hold on Bilal, they're already promising me a cut when they should not be doing so.
The assumption by the scammers that I would betray my friend for money made me really angry. It's this kind of thinking that is so damaging to my continent. But it showed me that they were getting hungry. We were fast approaching the business end of our investigation. The gold bars were ready, and I could sense the scammers were eager to close the deal. Our final port of call before arranging a day for payment was a government-certified testing lab to check the purity of the gold. The scammers took us first to a private residence where they were holding the gold. They wanted us to choose a bar to take to the testing lab. In a surprising move, we were first taken to a national bank, where we were told the rest of the gold will be deposited for safekeeping. Inside, a man claiming to be the bank manager assured us of the gold's security. A later checkup at the bank's head office revealed that they offer no such facility to receive or store gold. The alleged bank manager was in on the scam. The Geological Survey Department is a government-run body with private mineral testing facilities. The results from the test on our bar indicated that it was 85% pure. It was real. We were then taken to see a lawyer to receive legal guidance on how to export the gold. It is not clear whether he knew he was helping to perpetuate a fraud, but what is certain is that the whole day had been a carefully orchestrated charade to suck us deeper into their trap.
Now the semi-finals is over. We are getting to the finals tomorrow. We've collated all the evidence. Tomorrow morning, I'm going to present it to the police. The raid will take place when we make the final payment. Now, the critical things about the raid is that the fake gold must be there. We must be able to get evidence of intent to sell, because the whole point is to get them behind bars.
It was time to pay another visit to the police. Some journalists may question my tendency to cross over into collaboration with the authorities. But for me, in this country, it's about seeing things through and getting the job done.
Yeah, so over the weeks, the investigation has gone on very well. And so today, the payment is going to be made. We chose a location in East Legon. We are taking 2 rooms. One room which will be for you, and another room which will be for Bilal and myself, staying in where they are supposed to make the payment.
We'll take this opportunity to go and have a look at the location, and then we'll strategize. We'll do a briefing at 2 p.m. with my men. Then we'll move to location 2:30, take positions, and then we'll wait for them. Okay. Thank you. Good luck.
Everyone was in position. All we had to do now was wait. Then they arrived.
Patrick, how are you?
But there was a problem. They hadn't brought the gold. Citing security concerns, they told us to move to a different hotel nearby, where they said the gold was waiting.
Don't let the men move. Are the men here? They shouldn't move, because they are playing very smart with us that they kept the gold somewhere else. We are going to argue that no, unless they bring the gold here. So you say no, you get angry. No, you won't allow. The people, they want to cheat you. You understand? That's the game. Let's go.
Tell you, Muhammad, hey, I told you to explain to these people. Look, Mr. Patrick, if you want to deal like this, I stop everything now. Okay, I'm so I have plenty headache.
It was no use. They would not give in. To bust these people today, we would have to take the risk of going with them. I decided with Ralph that we should go. They had told us to leave the money at our hotel, and only after the gold had been weighed would Patrick return with Bilal to receive payment. In that time, I would call to inform Ralph of the location, and the arrest should begin when Bilal and Patrick leave to get the money. At their hotel, the gold was waiting. I left the room to inform Ralph of our location so he could prepare to send in his team. Meanwhile, Bilal and Patrick left to collect the payment. It was crunch time.
Go. You will not run, you go. My friend, stop. Charlie. Stand up, come down. What's the problem?
Take your time. Let me find out who you are.
I'm a policeman.
Yeah,
hey. Come down.
Move your hand.
Come down from the car.
Come, go.
Policeman, you are arrested. Look at the stupid thing you are doing. Can you fight me?
Listen.
Come here.
Listen.
Back at Patrick's hotel, the rest of the scammers were still in the room.
Wait there. Everybody go back. Go back. No, I'm not with them.
Enter into the room.
Look at me. Master, go back. Merci.
And so our investigation came to a successful conclusion. Police tests on the 75 kilos of gold confirmed that it was indeed fake. Only one bar, which must have been used for the gold purity test at the geological survey, was real. All those arrested will be appearing in court over the next month to stand trial for their actions. Today, these fraudsters have been beaten at their own game, but on most other days, companies and individuals are being scammed up and down the country, destroying lives and damaging the image and investment prospects of Ghana. The result of this one investigation may not change anything, but this was a small victory in what is likely to be a long and difficult fight.